In a recent survey conducted by the Neuro Leadership Institute, 54% of respondents said workplace conflict has led to benefits such as engaging the entire team in the discussion, exploring less popular ideas, and identifying growth areas. Today, I'm here to inform you about critical thinking and argumentation. Hello, my name is Serenity Elliott Cable, and although I may not be involved in argumentation often, I have done my research in order to share my learned knowledge on this topic with you today. Through you listening to my presentation and hearing the information I have gathered today, hopefully you will have a greater understanding of arguments and more insight into how you can present your own arguments as well as refute others. These are my key points that I'll be presenting today. The first one is understanding arguments, the second one is how to present an argument, and the third is how to refute an argument. My first key point is understanding arguments. I'll be explaining the Tolman model of argument, which provides a system of understanding, analyzing, and creating effective arguments. This is what the Tolman model looks like. The 6 components of the model are the claim, evidence, warrant, backing, reservation, and quality. The claim states the conclusion of an argument. It is the position you are advocating for. Evidence includes the facts, statistics, opinions, examples, or other materials that support a claim. A warrant explains and justifies how the evidence supports a particular claim. The backing provides the support for an argument's warrant. The reservation component recognizes the conditions under which a claim might not be true. It allows for people to acknowledge exceptions to an argument or that it may not be true under certain circumstances. The qualifier states the degree to which a claim appears to be true. My second key point is about how to present an argument. Firstly, if you want your ideas to be taken seriously, you must present your argument skillfully. The first step into presenting an argument is to state your claim. Claims can fit into four categories: fact, conjecture, value, and policy. A claim of fact is an argument stating that something is true or false, or that something did or did not occur. A claim of conjecture is an argument suggesting that something will or will not happen. Reasonable predictions are made with the best information available. A claim of value is an argument that evaluates whether something is good or bad, or right or wrong. Claims of value are often difficult to prove due to the opinions and values of others. A claim of policy is an argument that recommends a particular course of action to solve or minimize a problem. The second step in presenting arguments is to support your claim. To be convincing, you must support your claim with strong and valid evidence, which can take the form of facts, definitions, illustrations, etc. If a piece of evidence doesn't prove your claim clearly, you should demonstrate the link between your evidence and claim. You can use statements that explain why the evidence is sufficient enough to prove the claim. The last step is to summarize your arguments. A good summary restates the original claim and summarizes the supporting evidence. It should be brief. When the claim and evidence is brief and clear in the presentation, summary is not needed, but for lengthy arguments and complicated arguments, a summary should be used so everyone can understand. And this is just an infographic that shows the steps for presenting an argument. Something like this may also be used to support your argument, like statistics, etc. like this also may be used, something that supports what you're claiming. My last key point is about refuting arguments. I also have another infographic about the steps for this one as well. Refutation is the process of proving that an argument is false or lacks sufficient support. Refutation can question, minimize, and deny the validity or strength of someone else's argument. You should be willing and able to refute claims that are unsupported or untrue. The first step in refuting an argument is to listen to the argument. Engaging and listening to understand. In order to fully understand the argument, before you can refute it effectively, ask questions and take notes. Once you comprehend the meaning of an argument, you can shift to listening to evaluate. The next step is to state the opposing claim. Group members may offer several claims during an argumentative discussion. You shouldn't try to respond to all of them at once. When you're ready, state which claim you oppose. Clearly stating the claim gives you the opportunity to make sure that you understand the argument you are refuting. The next step is to review your objectives. You should provide a brief overview of your objections to or concerns with an argument. Let others know, if you're working in a group, the general direction of how you will refute someone else's argument. It's particularly important when your refutation will be lengthy or complicated. When assessing evidence and refuting a claim, you may be able to show the evidence supporting the claim is faulty. You can do this by presenting contradictory evidence. You may also refute an argument by questioning the quality of the evidence. Something that is outdated or from a discredited source can be used to reject an arguer's evidence. The next step is to assess the reasoning. You can do this through identifying fallacies. It's not always necessary to identify the fallacy by name, but it's much more important to explain why the reasoning in the argument is flawed. The last step is to summarize your response to the argument. If your refutation has been lengthy or complex, it's helpful to restate your major points. However, it's not necessary to refute all major points in detail. One more time, I'd like to say my name is Randy Elliott Cable, and thank you for listening to my presentation today. Hopefully you were able to learn more about critical thinking and argumentation, especially about understanding arguments, how to present an argument, and how to refute an argument. One thing I hope you remember is the Tolman model, because I think it can be especially helpful for creating an argument. Are there any questions?
What is your favorite part of an argument to prepare for?
For me, my favorite part is probably the evidence, because I'm definitely like a logical person. I really like seeing facts and evidence for things, seeing that you can actually support something.
Which component of an argument do you think deserves like the most time to prepare for?
I would probably say the evidence is also the most important, just because it's actually what you have to show to support what you're saying.